Nikki Haley, who announced her presidential campaign before or a little after 6 a.m. on Valentine's Day of this week, has taken a shot at Donald Trump. And honestly, it's a pretty good shot, not gonna lie. Nikki Haley is calling for competency tests for any politician, but really specifically presidential candidates, over the age of 75. Which, of course, would include Donald Trump, who is 76 years old, and, of course, it includes President Biden, who is 80. So, Nikki Haley, who is only 51, would be exempt from this rule that she says she is going to mandate if she ever gets in office. But we know exactly, even without her mentioning Trump's name, we know exactly what she's talking about. Because Trump's mental competency has been called into question since before he even came into office. So, Nikki Haley didn't stop there. It's not just the proposal for the mental competency tests. She also had this to say, which again is another shot at Trump's age. We're ready to move past the stale ideas and faded names of the past, and we are more than ready for a new generation to lead us into the future. America is not past our prime, it's just that our politicians are past theirs. If you're tired of losing, put your trust in a new generation. Now, here's the thing. As much as I despise Nikki Haley, I don't disagree with her, right? It is time for a new generation of leadership in Washington, D.C. on both sides of the aisle. Let's be real about that. And also don't hate her idea of mental competency tests. I mean, look, Dianne Feinstein this week announced her retirement. And, you know, she has, there's been all kinds of reports over the years that she is not as sharp as she used to be. And then, of course, when they made the announcement this week that she was retiring, reporters asked her about it a little bit later in the day, and she didn't know what they were talking about. They had to remind her that she announced she was retiring. So, and by the way, she still has 2 years that she's going to be in the Senate. That is not a dig at her, by the way. That is not an ageist attack. That's just what happens. You know, happens to the best of us. And I do think we need mental competency exams, but I don't think it should be limited to only politicians over the age of 75. I think it needs to be all of them. I mean, look at Madison Cawthorn, right? Of course, he's not in office anymore, but he was the youngest member of Congress ever. You mean to tell me that guy shouldn't have had to take a mental competency test? You look at George Santos, you're going to tell me he shouldn't have to take a mental competency test just because he's not 75? Marjorie Taylor Greene? Lauren Boebert? I think mental competency tests for everybody, right? Let's make a day of it. Let's have all of these people take these mental competency tests. And not just the sitting politicians. I think anybody running for president should have to take one of these exams. And I think the results should have to be publicized. And if you don't want it publicized, you don't get to run. I think that's what the rule should be. I know that would require constitutional amendments and things like that. But at the end of the day, I think it's necessary. I think we need to hold our elected officials to a very high standard. And maybe get rid of a couple of the nuts. Hey, win-win, right? But either way, Nikki Haley did come out swinging against Donald Trump with these statements, with her proposal. It's very clear that she's talking about him. It's unlikely that will ever get implemented, even though, again, I think you could get broad bipartisan support for it. And also, this completely glosses over the fact that even though Haley took a very clear shot at Trump, she herself has taken hits from both Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene this week that probably did far more damage to her than her attacks against Trump did to him. She's not off to a great start, and I don't see it getting any better for the remainder of her campaign. Hi, everyone. This here is little Athena, and Athena would like to know why you haven't subscribed to Fair and Balanced yet. So please, don't let Athena down. Subscribe today.